So, having a marketing plan for your business does not mean that you are just posting every day to social media. Marketing is a way of creating a repeatable way for the right people to find you, to trust you, and to take the next step with your business without you burning yourself out. Welcome to Simplifying Small Business. I'm Karen Velez, founder of the Growth Table Small Business Collective, and today we are building a simple DIY marketing strategy that you can run for 90 days without using any fancy tools and without a big budget and without feeling like you have to be a full-time content creator. This is episode 10 and the final episode in our introductory series to building your business. We started with defining why you wanted to start a business, turned that idea into a viable business model, named it, branded it, created our business structure, worked on our legal and banking and money matters, wrote our brand messaging, created our online presence, and now we need to really get the word out there about what we do and who we do it for so we can make some sales. So if you missed any of those topics, go back and start with episode 1. I will warn you, the audio is a little bit sketchy in some of those early episodes. I apologize, but the information is worth the fight. If you've gotten through all that already, then let's dive into your sales and marketing strategy. Your goal with sales and marketing when you are first starting your business, or even if you've been at this for a while, but you are still managing every aspect of your business on your own, is not to do everything. Okay. We want to pick 2 or 3 different marketing plays that we can repeat every single week or every other week, whatever your rhythm is. And I will say it again. Consistency beats intensity every single time. So if we can find 2 or 3 actions that we can take every week, those actions will compound over time and will create a real difference in your marketing, which of course leads to sales. It is very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day operations of our business and neglect the parts that actually get us those clients or those customers. And those are what actually bring in the revenue. It is very important to be intentional about driving that part of our business on a consistent basis. Now, if you're in a product-based market, this is almost automatic. Like if you have a storefront, you open that store every day on regular hours. If you sell online, this is a little bit less automatic, and you need to be conducting activities that drive people to that online store. But in that same way, so does a physical store. You still have to drive people to come in the door of your store, and this has to be a consistent effort. The same thing goes for service providers. If you are providing a service to clients and you have a heavy load of clients that pretty much has filled your schedule, that is fantastic. And most of the work that you're going to be doing in your business is for those clients. But if you're not at that point yet, or even if you are, you still need to make sure that you are attracting people to your business. Because if you lose a client or you already don't have a full schedule, you have to keep that pipeline open for people to be able to find you and know you and understand what it is that you do so you can turn them into clients. And this is something, like I said, that has to be intentional. I find myself in this trap a lot, and I really do have to set myself on my calendar days where I am actively working on marketing and sales. There are parts of our business that we are naturally going to really, really enjoy, and that's usually doing the thing, right? Making the thing, performing the craft, performing the service for the people that we're already connected with or the customers that are right in front of us. A lot of us don't feel super comfortable doing sales, right? And marketing is just an extension of that, where we may not feel comfortable putting ourselves out there. But we have to do it. If you are going to be successful in any size business, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. So let's talk about sort of our marketing triangle. Before we pick the tactics that we're going to use, we have to sort of anchor that triangle. The first thing that we need to remember is our audience. Who do we serve? The second part of that triangle is our message. What do you help them do? These are all things that we have talked about in previous episodes. And then that third thing in marketing is our channel. that is where you show up consistently. And by channel, I don't mean just social media. When we get sort of stuck sometimes nowadays thinking of social as like the only way to market our business, and I know it's because it's free to start with and it's easy to get started on social, but we can't get stuck on that as the only channel, right? So we're just saying channel in general, and we're going to have you pick where it is that you show up consistently. Once you have sort of, squared in on the triangle. Okay, yeah. We've anchored that triangle. Then we want to choose 2 or 3 plays that we use for our marketing. 2 or 3 ways that we market or sell our business. And there are simple versions of this that will work for pretty much any small business. And remember I said 2 or 3, no more than that. We're not doing all the things. So I would start with 2. And then if you can add one later on, great. But if you do 2 really, really well and you do them consistently, you are going to see such a difference, okay? The first play would be direct outreach. This has got a really high return on investment, but it is also the one that is probably the scariest for most starting business owners. This is emailing people directly. This is sending them direct messages on social or talking to potential customers or clients or partners directly, one-on-one at marketing events or things like that. It can be very scary, and you tend to sometimes, if you're not super confident in what it is that you're doing or you are brand new at this, you might second guess yourself a little bit, and I get that, but the more frequently you do this, the better you get at doing this. So your starter goal might be to do 10 touches a week or every other week or 5 a week to combine for 10, right? So what is a touch? A touch is one direct message. It's one direct email. It's even a comment on somebody's, post or in their LinkedIn, right? It could be asking somebody for a referral or following up with a potential lead. Each one of those things is a touch, okay? So if you can do 10 of those a week, that is fantastic. And I guarantee you, you generally are going to see, assuming that you have all your other ducks in a row, assuming that you have your message nailed, the return on investment, whether that's your time or actual money, is much higher with direct outreach than it is with any other type of marketing. The second play would be having one weekly anchor content piece of some sort. This could be one helpful post to your socials. This could be a video that you make and you're posting it to social or to YouTube. This could be an email or a blog post or even a podcast, right? This could be a long form sort of content piece that answers a common question that people who are looking for your product or services might be asking. So think of titles to pieces that may say something like how to choose the right blank, whatever it is that you do, right? Or 3 mistakes to avoid when doing blank. What it costs to have blank or do blank, right? Start here if whatever. Things like that. Things that in your experience, whatever it is that you are offering, people have previously asked about. Turn that into some way to showcase what it is that you do, and do that once per week, okay? So that's your second play right there. Remember, we're only choosing 2 of these. Your third play would be partnerships. Combining or collaborating with another business in some way or another person one time a month. This could be being a guest on somebody's podcast. This could be swapping a newsletter with somebody. If you have another business in your area or you know another business owner that is selling or marketing something that is complementary to what it is that you are doing, if you both have an email newsletter, offer to write for each other's newsletters. You will swap and make sure that that contact information to find you is in that newsletter. It is a great way to expose you to people who may not even know that you exist or your product or your service exists. And they have a way now to follow you, to get in contact with you, to see what it is that you're doing. It's not pushy, it's not direct sales, it's simply providing information, and you're doing that in partnership with somebody else, exposing your audience to them. You can also do this by co-hosting workshops or networking events, and you can also develop referral relationships with other businesses or business owners. So I refer my clients to you, you refer your clients to me. This can even work in terms of affiliates as well. You have an affiliate relationship with somebody. If I refer clients to you, I get 10%. If you refer customers to me, you get 10%, or you offer them a 10% discount code, whatever that looks like for you. But forming partnerships with other entities, businesses, business owners, generally, if it's done right, works really well for both of those businesses, but also for the customers and the clients. Play number 4 would be getting yourself some additional local visibility in some way. If you can take 2 relationship building actions every week as part of your marketing, you are going to sort of expand your reach just vicariously that way. So visit a complimentary business and get to know that owner and let them get to know you and your business. Attend one local group gathering. This could be your Chamber of Commerce, monthly coffee. This could be an evening networking event. This could be a meetup of certain groups, right? You can also ask for referrals from other businesses and do the same for them. Now, technically, we want these to be businesses that we already know and trust. When we're asking for referrals, we want to make sure that we are honoring that and giving our customers or clients referrals to businesses that we already know and we know, are going to be good for the customer. But this is another really good way to get your business out there. So 2 relationship building activities weekly would be another one of our plays here. And then the 5th play would be an email nurture. Okay, I am a huge proponent of having an email list and getting people onto your email list. I will say it every time. If people join your email list and they stay on that list, they want to hear from you. So nurture that relationship. 1 email a week. Include a tip with a call to action. Give them something to do. Whether they choose to do anything with it at that moment doesn't matter. But you will always end up with, if the more you give people the opportunity to do something with you, the more likely you are to get people to take that opportunity, right? If you don't do it and you don't send it, then you never know. So do some sort of email nurturing with your existing customers or clients, or people who have expressed an interest in some way, shape, or form by downloading a freebie from you or whatever. Nurture them to eventually become customers or clients. Okay, so let's go through those again really quickly. Play number 1 would be direct outreach. Number 2 would be a weekly anchor content piece. Number 3 would be a partnership of some sort. Number 4 would be increasing your local visibility. And play number 5 would be nurturing your email list. Pick 2 of these things to go with and commit to doing it every single week or every month, depending on what it is that you've chosen. Now, what are we going to track? Because we always want to have the data to back up what it is that we're doing. We shouldn't be taking actions in our business without tracking what we're doing and then tracking the results so we can make it better or we can decide to ditch it altogether, okay? And we don't need a fancy dashboard for this. You don't need a high dollar customer relationship management software or something to keep track of all this stuff, okay? You just need some metrics. You want one sort of area where you can track the activities that you are doing, right? The inputs, all of your different outreach touches, the posts or the videos that you've created, the emails that you've sent, who you've contacted for a partnership or whatever. And then you want the outcome. What happened with that? Did you get any inquiries? Did you book any sales calls? Did you, increase your product sales? Is there a higher conversion rate? If the activity is high, but the outcomes are low, then maybe your message or your offer needs to be adjusted. If your activity is low, then maybe it's because you've made the plan a little too complicated and you need something that's easier to follow through on. Again, consistency beats intensity. So a very simple rhythm might be, on Mondays, you have a block where you are doing outreach and you're planning whatever your anchor topic is going to be for the week. And then on Wednesdays, you're publishing that anchor topic and you're sending a direct email to somebody, or you are nurturing your email list. And then on Fridays, you're doing follow ups to all of those activities that you took earlier in the week. And then maybe you're reaching out to somebody for a partnership opportunity. And then you can go back and take 10 minutes sometime during that week to look at the previous week and what happened from those outreaches that you made and the publishing that you did. This is how you build momentum, right? You do the same thing every single week. You review what worked and what didn't. You figure out what to repeat, and then you move on. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It just needs to be consistent. So marketing is a repeatable routine. Anchor your triangle. What is your audience? What is your message? What channels are you choosing? Pick 2 to 3 different plays that you can do. Let's just do 2 to start. Track those activities and those outcomes. Run that rhythm for 90 days. Okay, adjust one thing at a time every couple of weeks when you do your review, and then move on from there. I promise you, at the end of the 90 days, you are actually going to see the difference in terms of not just the results of this marketing. Hopefully, you will be increasing your sales, but you also can be tweaking your message at the same time. And I guarantee you, you are going to see your confidence in what it is that you are offering grow exponentially at the same time. If you want support staying consistent with this and a place to build that is not on social media, then join us in the Growth Table Small Business Collective. Monthly workshops, a resource library that you can actually use, peer support, and access to me as a mentor when you need a nudge or a next step. You can go to growthtablesbc.com and the link will be in the show notes. You've got this. I'm rooting for you. I'll see you next Wednesday.